Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Only Stupid Answers. My name is Sam Basher.
And I'm DJ Woldridge.
And good morning, good evening, good night. We have a new review for you, and oh boy, we're getting in at the embargo, boys and girls. We're making it. We're on time. We're talking about Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. I had to make sure I got it right.
There's a little introduction at our screening, and the poor, you know what? This might have been self-inflicted. He felt the need that every time we say the title, he said the whole title, and I'm like, you could on IMDb, it's just Birds of Prey. I think you could.
It is.
Yeah, it's just Birds of Prey. They didn't bother with all that.
No. You gotta say the full thing. If you guys have ever been to an ArcLight theater in Los Angeles, they always have someone introduce it. Not always. I think he may have requested this. Anyways, we thank you to Warner Brothers and the wonderful team who put together this press screening.
Yes.
We got to sit down with a lot of our friends in the industry and sit down and enjoy this movie. And boy, howdy, are we excited to talk about it with you today. This is a spoiler-free review. We'll be rating it before there's any hint of a score on Rotten Tomatoes. So
suck it, Rotten Tomatoes.
Suck it. Don't compare us to the other reviewers.
Allow us on there. Put our review a link to. I don't know.
People have to listen to the review,
yeah.
Which we thank you for doing. Let's not dilly-dally anymore. We're going to hop into a quickie synopsis and a rundown of the cast, which of course stars Margot Robbie, Jurnee Smollett-Bell, Mary Elizabeth Winstead,
Ewan McGregor, Rosie Perez,
Chris Messina,
and Ali Wong,
and Ella Jay Basco, and this was directed by Cathy Yan, who did Dead Pigs, and was written by Christina Hodson, who worked on Bumblebee. Now, the synopsis via Warner Brothers, which I'm usually read IMDb's, and those really whiff it. Birds of Prey is a twisted tale told by Harley herself as only Harley can tell it. When Gotham's most nefariously narcissistic villain, Roman Sionis, and his zealous right-hand Zsasz, oh my God, alliterations, put a target on a young girl named Cass, the city is turned upside down looking for her. Harley, Huntress, Black Canary, and Renee Montoya's paths collide, and the unlikely foursome have no choice but to team up to take Roman down.
Now, so full disclosure, right at the top, I will say that, I was enjoying the movie from the beginning, but at the top, it feels a little fussy. There's a lot of there's no point that it makes that it doesn't feel the need to make two other times. And I was like, I don't know. I think Margot Robbie's doing great as Harley Quinn. I like the elements here. And then about a third of the way in, it clicked. And I feel like this has been happening more. I felt similarly with Shazam. Once Shazam shows up, we're off to the races. There's a moment in here, it's not as clear cut as that, but there's a moment about a third of the way in where the movie kind of oh, this is what we're doing. And they dial back, there's a lot of voiceover, they dial back the voice. When they say Harley Quinn's telling the story, they mean it. Yeah.
I would say it's about the moment it became the Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah.
The intro is about her, and you're getting a quick sum up, and here's a spoiler for you. You're not going to see Joker in this movie whatsoever, but you do see a version of him for origin purposes, so you can understand where Harley is at the beginning of this story.
Jared Leto is not, there's not a whiff of him anywhere in the movie.
There is. No, he is not in this film, and you will understand when you watch the movie. You'll get it, because it is not his story; it's Harley's story.
Yes.
And if you want a different story between Harley getting over the Joker, you should check out Harley Quinn's animated series on DC Universe. When we do reviews every Friday, there's the plug. And go watch them. It's an amazing TV show. So we're seeing in the beginning of this movie the aftermath of the breakup, and you're seeing Harley trying to find herself, and it eventually leads her down a path that towards the rest of these women.
Yes.
And I agree with you fully that in the beginning of the film, my thoughts during this were I felt like it was a caricature of someone who quickly skimmed who Harley Quinn was. It's or Tara Strong's voice acting for it. It didn't feel like a character. It felt like a caricature. So we're seeing her kind of spiraling.
Yes.
And once she makes the decision to be her own person, and you can see the moment in the trailer. I don't need to say it right now, but that moment is clear cut because it's a big moment.
Yeah.
That's when the movie starts working for me and everything starts to come together. So yeah, I fully agree with you. A third of the way of it for myself is when I finally started understanding it, and boy howdy. Here's a little swear for you guys. This movie kicks all the A.
Yeah,
all right.
It's all A. And it is worth pointing out that it is R-rated. And in some ways, I'm still a little on the fence of that because I think there's a lot of young girls that would get a lot out of this movie.
Because I don't know about you, but I wanted to start fighting. I wanted to stand up and start kicking. It's the same feeling I had after I saw Man of Steel. I went home and I started doing pull-ups because I was like, could you imagine?
I can do it. I can do it.
Could you imagine if you had those arms?
You should watch The Witcher. There's a lot of moments where you're like, those arms though, man. But having seen the movie, there are a few moments. One in particular, two in particular, it's like, thank God for that R rating, man, because they are great. And
it's a treat.
It is a treat. And I think they really do specifically, it is worth mentioning. And people started pointing this out when they saw trailers. This is a Harley Quinn movie that features characters like Black Canary and Huntress. That said, like as a big Black Canary fan, she's one of my all-time favorite DC characters. She is very well represented here. She gets some very cool moments. And I think of the birds themselves, Huntress is probably the most underserved. But she also gets my favorite joke in the entire movie.
And whenever she shows up, she is by far the most capable killer.
Yeah, although Harley kicks some ass.
Oh, no. Yeah. Everybody kicks A.
A kicks that A.
But Huntress murders people. How could you not with a crossbow? Very important.
Yeah.
It is not a bow and arrow.
Not a bow and arrow.
It is a crossbow. But the way it does start as Harley's movie, but I think it becomes I think they figure out a way to kind of juggle all these characters in a way that makes it feel like their movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how I was going to say, given a comparison of like the Avengers, how it's like Iron Man and then we get the rest. But I think they do a better job balancing all the characters as a team. Yeah. But yes, it is Harley's movie. She is our main character that we're learning about this world with her. And she's also a big motivator for why everything happens.
Yes.
But it does feel relatively balanced minus Huntress once we start meeting everybody. Yeah. And they're all their own characters. They are all so cool. But they're all so cool in their own way. But it is a Harley movie. But if you were worried about the action in this film, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, just wouldn't.
There are, I'd say, three to four kick-ass scenes. Oh, no, I swore.
Not only are they kick-ass, but there's stuff that like, oh, I haven't seen that before. Like, I haven't seen stuff like that happen, like creative, inventive, like just really fun and energetic. And I think that was the thing that really started to soak in as the movie went on. It's a lot of fun. Some of the jokes, it definitely goes for like the Deadpool style of humor that's just, we're going to do all the jokes and about half of them are going to hit. But the energy in the movie is so interesting and unique. It like takes the what Suicide Squad gave, and it's like, we can do this right.
Yeah.
There's a way to do this right.
And they're like, people got excited for the style.
Yeah.
But it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. We're not sharing our opinions on Suicide Squad.
Yeah, we did that review back in the day.
What was that, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
But it did take the things that people were liking from that.
Yeah.
And they both toned them down and then tuned them up. It was, they took the good things and they left the bad. But that being said, for those of you who are like, does this have anything to do with like Suicide Squad?
Yeah, there's some very clear nods to it,
and a solid little joke, little shout out to one specific Suicide Squad member.
Yeah, and I also, when you're talking about styling and the energy, I gotta throw a shout out to Erin Banash, who did the costume design for this movie. She's worked on Drive and Neon Demon and a bunch of movies like that, and it just all the costuming really sells the characters.
But we started filming, you mentioned that there was a tweet that went viral where people were talking about that this movie isn't like sexy, and like I don't know what what did he see?
Yeah,
what
are you insane?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because there's not one like of the main adult birds of prey. There's not one of them that's not hot as hell and gets a moment. And it's something.
Okay, and on that note though, just look at Ewan McGregor too. Like you can look at if you want. Hey, he was being towards the women, but
as a character, his character, Black Mask is a bad person.
The comment was towards the women.
This person,
and I'm just saying their costumes are sexy and they're awesome. No. But Ewan McGregor's costume, I was like, oh my god, could you imagine wearing a suit like that?
That's such a nice suit.
And those gloves, I've never wanted to wear gloves in my entire life
until then,
with my name on them. That'd be insane. I'd want you to beat me up.
But let's be clear. Obviously, like sex appeal shouldn't be the main goal of any movie ever. But it's insane to the point. I think that tweet also mentioned like it's like Charlie's Angels, and I'm like, listen, there are things to complain about in the most recent Charlie's Angels. Sex appeal is not one of those things. Yeah, that movie is one of the horniest movies we have ever seen, and I think. Even Wonder Woman, I think that movie it does so many wonderful things, but I think that movie's really sexy.
And
I think female directors get it in a way, and maybe it's because they're making they're not just sex objects; they're three-dimensional entities that also happen to be sexy. But like, it's crazy, and I think I feel like there's been some negative feedback from the Snyder Cut crowd that is like, it's not what. Go see that. You're crazy. Go see this movie. You will love it. You will love it because there's like the action and the characters. If you love any of these comic characters, you will love this movie.
Yeah, Victor Zsasz fans, you get the full thing.
If you're like, hey, well, I was cool in that one scene in Batman Begins, but
yeah, that's my favorite version of the character.
Yeah.
No, he's comic accurate. I'll give you that. By the end of the movie, I didn't want to say a spoiler, but I stopped myself.
Good job.
By the end of the movie, there's a cool setup for possible sequels.
Yes.
Before we get to the rating, I did want to ask.
Yeah.
If you were to see a Birds of Prey sequel, who would you want to see join them? Because classically, this team is formed by
Oracle, Barbara Gordon.
Yes.
Oracle or Batgirl. And I will say it was a little weird to see a Birds of Prey movie without her because that's just such a core part of the concept. But I think this movie does. I don't think it'll surprise anybody. This is kind of an origin movie for that team, and I think, like you said, it sets up the idea of like more adventures like this. And I wouldn't mind see like Harley Quinn is kind of the sun at the core of the solar system in this. If maybe she gets replaced in the next movie with Barbara Gordon, I think like that could be really cool because this does a good job of like I think that's the highest praise you can give any superhero movie. It's like, I want more of this. Do more of this. And I had that feeling like, yes, please more.
So, and it does do a good job touching some of the different corners of like the DC universe.
Yeah.
Mainly that most of these are like melee combat characters where like Renee's a cop, so she's going to be punching or using a gun or kicking. And then you've got like Harley using her bat and other gadgets and gizmos aplenty. And the most powered person you have is Black Canary with her like canary cry with the sonic attack. It's in the trailers, but guess what? It's way cooler in the movie. I wouldn't mind if you threw in like a powered person. Like everybody and their mother's like, oh, did you see that script where Supergirl was supposed to be in Superman 2? And it's like, yeah, I've seen that. But it would be kind of cool to see someone of that power level. And in Birds of Prey, famously, when Gail Simone was writing it, I know that was a big influence on this story specifically. I wouldn't mind if Big Barda showed up. If you guys have ever read Mr. Miracle or other happier stories, Big Barda is a new god, and she just kicks so much ass. She was the head of the Furies, who are like this like troop. Oh my god, that'd be really cool to send the Birds of Prey versus the Furies. Just throwing it out there, be a fun pitch. And also, Big Barda's like, in my head, 9 feet tall, all muscle, and I would love like a Gina Carano or something, and you like CGI her a little bit bigger,
a little bit taller,
a little bit bigger.
And that's actually not like completely out of the realm of possibility because we are getting a New Gods movie. And this also, I gotta say, this continues the trend of, if you compared Wonder Woman to Birds of Prey to Shazam to Joker, even though that very clearly is supposed to be in its own universe, they're very different
and
movies.
Aquaman too,
Aquaman is another great example, although Birds of Prey and Aquaman and Shazam have really leaned into like, oh, people want fun. Oh, you haven't seen fun. Like we're gonna go bananas here.
They do have different types of fun, though.
Yeah, and I think like, but
not just like Doctor Strange flavor of different fun. Like they are different types of fun.
Exactly, and I think like that gives me even more hope for New Gods because like, oh, that's gonna be completely different. You know what I mean? And that's exciting.
And Suicide Squad's gonna be a lot different than what we saw before. The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and Margot Robbie is supposed to be in that as well. And I gotta say, if for some reason, after Suicide Squad and I, Tonya and Bombshell and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you're like, I don't know about this Margot Robbie lady. I think, for me at least, like, oh, she's a superstar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you've known that, but this was the moment like, oh yeah.
Yeah. And like, I was just thrilled. About halfway through this movie, I realized I was like, oh, I'm having like an amazing time watching this film. I very much enjoyed it. Also, I don't think we gave her enough praise, but Ella Jay Basco, who was Cassandra Cain, which, if you're fans of the character, she's nothing like the character that you've seen before, but that's okay because I like this interpretation.
Agreed.
And it leaves the door open to a lot of her backstory.
Yeah, it does.
Which could be really cool.
And really cool to explore in other Birds of Prey movies because it's her backstory is complicated.
Yes, and she's been through a lot. She goes through a lot, which is a bummer because she seems in a pretty positive place now.
Yeah.
It means it probably can only go down, which would be a bummer. But
yes,
time to rate.
Yes.
What would you say?
Out of 10, I would definitely give it like an 8.5. I'd give it like a B plus. Like I said, like a little. I mean, we talked about in the Ad Astra review. Not a huge fan of like voiceover. It's just a storytelling technique. But again, once this movie clicks, it's so much fun. It's so exciting. The action is so fun and creative. The characters are so interesting. The actresses are so cool. Like I'm excited to go see it again.
Me too. I'm very bummed I didn't buy opening night tickets because I usually do that. But
but you've been burned a few times, and it's like,
and it was just like, it felt like a sequel to Suicide Squad, which it kind of is.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, I'm scared. But don't be scared, babies. I give it like an 8.9 out of 10. Where it's like, I want to give it like a high B plus. It's almost an A, but that like front third, it might be even less than that, honestly. It really kind of like muddied it.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't bad.
It's just not as good as the rest of the movie.
Yeah, the rest of the movie really is good. And it opens with a little animated bit, and that part's, I really like that.
Yeah.
Then it goes down, and it goes way up. Oh my God, Huntress has one of the coolest kills in any movie. It's not even that like crazy.
Yeah.
Just when it happens, it was such a surprise. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Let us know what you thought in the comments down below. It's coming out this week. All right. And do stay for the end credits. There you go.
Yeah.
Something does happen.
Yes.
So please enjoy it. Let us know what you thought in the comments down below. Once Rotten Tomatoes score is up, let them know to come and talk to us. Come and knock on our door. And we got more reviews coming out for the Harley Quinn show and for new movies. We are going to be seeing Sonic the Hedgehog this weekend, which will be a different movie.
It will be a different experience.
It will be something. But we'll see you guys then. In the meantime, you can hit us up on Twitter at Sam Basher,
At DJ Talks Trash.
at Only Stupid Answers.
You ain't got the vowels from Stu.
Go to patreon.com/onlystupidanswers. No more plugs. Bye-bye.
Bye.